This is Andy from SwissAAA.org. Today we're going to have a look at dry fire practice using the MantisX device. The MantisX mounts on your gun on the rail. Sometimes you have adapters for the magazine as well, so you can practice the draw. I mount it here, and it measures the movement your gun is doing just before you actually pull the trigger or the striker is released. So it shows whether you flinch or not in whatever direction. It gives you a score of 100, which is absolutely no movement, down to 90, 80, 60, 50 and so on. The lower the number, the more jerking you did. It transfers the data to your phone. So it tells you on the phone what your score is. It also makes a statistic out of it. You can additionally use it as a shot timer. You can give a start signal on the phone until the shot breaks. It gives you the time and the Mantis score. Now let's see how we can use that. Alright, in order to have a training program, a practice program that you can repeatedly use, I made this 4-page practice program here, where the exercises are described, and we're gonna go through now in the video to see how they are actually done. Okay, so before you start the training, you need to make sure your gun is unloaded, obviously. Check the chamber, check the magazine, mount the Mantis, make connection to your phone. And I'm using manipulation rounds, dummy rounds. So is it necessary or not? I just use them, and you're gonna see they have some good use. So the first exercise we're gonna do is open training, called in Mantis. I'm standing here about 4 meters from my targets. They are printouts that are exactly 1/3 of the size of an IDPA target. So if I'm at 4 meters, I simulate a distance of 12 meters, obviously. In the open training, we can do several things. It's not timed. We just do precision shooting. Okay, I do one shot and freestyle, and we're gonna see what happens.
85.
That wasn't too great. It gave me an 85 score, which is not really good. So let's try it again. Of course, I have to cock the pistol to make sure that the striker can be released again.
96.
96, so that's much better. That's what we want to have. Now the question, of course, is what does this score really say? The Montes cannot know where I'm really aiming at, so it cannot know whether I'm exactly in the middle of the zero down or at the edge of it or whatnot. It just measures the movement I do shortly before the striker is released. So I cannot say when I have a perfect hit and when not. But I can have an indication. So assuming I'm near the center with my side picture, then I can deduce from the score the Montes gives me whether I'm still in the zero down or not. I made a little table here. You can see, depending on the distance and the score, one can deduct whether I'm still in the zero down or not. So white would be zero down, and it gives the deviation in centimeters. Yellow would still be in, but really at the edge, and red is not in anymore, with a perfect point of aim. So, for example, one can say, like, at 10 meters with a 70 score, I would still be in. Even with a 60 score, in theory I'm in, but in practice, if my point of aim is not perfect, I'm not in anymore, right? So, rule of thumb for me, score of 80 and above is good. 80, 10 meters is in, 15 meter in, 20 meter, not anymore. 85 or 90 and above is in at all the practical distances. Back to the open training. Freestyle we can do of course also the strong hand only. Now there is a program for primary hand or something. I'm just gonna use the same open training mode in Mantis as before.
89.
Not too great. I can also do of course the weak hand only.
86.
And I can do what I call weak side. So I do a two hand. Now I took it up, I didn't even fire.
96.
See, so with the weak hand, two-handed, I'm actually quite okay. So that was the first program, open training. Do everything minimum 10 times. 10 shot freestyle, 10 shot strong hand, 10 shot weak hand, 10 shot weak side. Then we go to the next step. Next step is we shoot under time pressure. So we use the shot timer functionality in Mantis. It gives me a start signal and measures the time until my striker is released. It would measure additional shots, but it doesn't really tell me anything if I recock the pistol under time pressure. That's silly and it's a wrong behavior. So I just do one shot and then restart the program. Let's do that. That was really bad, but I was pretty fast, so 1.35, but 69 is not great. Let's do it again. I want to do better than that. 89, 1.34, that's what I want to have. So like this you can put yourself under time pressure and get the push out of your arms, the acquisition of your side picture, the change of the focus from the target to the front side, and the pulling of the trigger all in the same time. And the lower, of course, the less time you need, and the higher the score, the better you are. Let's do it again. One more time, let's see. 91, 1.30. So that's what I want to have. For myself now, a goal would be stay under 1.5 seconds and above 85 in the score. And then do that 10 times. The next exercise is some of the manipulations. So we are at point 3 of the program. I'm not going to do every action that is in the program, just a few of them, so you get the idea how it works. So you can train the manipulations under time pressure. Let's say, for example, we have an empty chamber start. Now, of course, I can't, with the Mantis attached, come out of the holster, but I can do the next best thing, start from here, and the other hand relaxed at my side, rack, and have a shot. Let's see. What I use here is the reload out of battery function in Montes. It will work perfectly. Let's see. 80 is not great, 2.09 seconds, also not great. Now, of course, you can repeat this, get down to 1.6, 1.7 seconds, and above 85, that would be my goal. I need to practice. Do it 10 times, then go to the next exercise. Next thing we're gonna look at is the magazine change. I can do it on the reload drills again. It's reload in battery I can do, so that's there's still one in the chamber in reality would be, and the magazine is partially empty, but I want a fresh one in. In IDPA, of course, we need to retain the magazine, so let's do that. Mag change with retention. 93 and 2.87 seconds, including the reaction time. There's one thing you really need to know. you have normally a reaction time between 1/10 to half a second even until you initiate the manipulation. So it's including reaction time until the shot has been released. We can also do the mag change or the reload actually when the gun is empty, so there's nothing in the chamber, the magazine is empty, so I can't fire the gun, I need a fresh magazine, that's why we call it reload. In IDPA we are allowed to drop the magazine in the dirt, so let's see how that works. 87, 2.17 seconds. Do it 10 times, then go on to the next exercise. Next thing, we can also do the shooting while moving. Even if we don't use that anymore in IDPA, it's still a good training. I use the open training functionality of Montes, and I just move back and forth or sideways. We're going to see that later. So if I just move forward, no start signal, I start moving, and then eventually I shoot.
77.
77, not too bad, not too good either. Backwards, the same.
77.
Again 77. I can do it sideways.
82.
82 is fine. Other side, I usually go one-handed.
61.
61. Not too bad, not too good either. So from the move, one shot, change direction. We're gonna do manipulation on the move. So if I want to save time in competition, I change my mag while on the move. And I'm gonna do that and also fire a shot. I need the reload functionality obviously, which gives me a start signal. That was it. So backwards as well, forwards, sideways, you can combine all of that. Now let's train malfunctions. That can be done very good with the Montes using the reload out of battery functionality. I'm going to start with the simple malfunction, so it doesn't fire, tap rack and one shot.
Ninety-seven.
97, 2.07 seconds. Now I can just continue with it, restart. It doesn't give a click the first because it's decocked.
74.
74, not too good, 2.40. I have to practice. Let's have a look at the extended malfunction. So your tap rack has not cleared the malfunction. Now you do an extended malfunction. To prepare it, I put one manipulation round in the barrel, insert the magazine, release the slide, and like this, now if I do tap rack, you see, it's not going to solve the problem. Right? So I have to do different thing. What I do is, I do the tap rack, I see it doesn't work, I lock the slide, take the mag out, 2 times rack, new mag in, rack and fire. Let's see how that works in reality.
Eighty-one.
81, 5.12 seconds. Not too bad, not too bad. So that, if you practice this malfunction, including reaction time, you can come, excluding reaction time, you can come below 5 seconds, including around 5.5 seconds, and you're ready to go again. Now we're going to practice getting out and getting in of positions. So what we're essentially going to do is, we have a little box drill, a bit scaled down of course to the real thing, and we're going to use the open training functionality. Let's start that. What I do is, I chose, here I have 4 positions on this putting green. position 1, 3, 5, 4, doesn't matter the numbers. And let's say I start here. So from here I go to 3, fire 1 shot. Right? So that would be like this. I can give myself a start signal or not. I prefer not to do it so I don't have to go back and forth to the phone all the time. Okay, now here I start, go in.
77.
77, not too good. Now I want to go back from here.
87.
Much better. Still from this start position I go in a diagonal.
71.
And then I go back.
91.
That was good. Then last thing I do, I go over there.
85.
Didn't pick it up.
88.
Alright. Then of course I can start there, go there, go there, come here, I can start there, I can start there. Gives me a box drill. Very good exercise with the Montes. We can do the box drill without running, but with moving from one position to the next, and always fire while on the move, while in transition from one to the next position. Let's see. So if I start here, I move forward.
92.
Then I move here.
44.
Woo, that was one-handed. I move back.
51.
And I move over there.
39.
Woo, you see, the scores are not great. While moving, it's very difficult, but it's a very good training. You can go anti-clockwise, clockwise, change hands, do it one-handed, do it on the weak side, do it weak-handed, and so on and so forth. That's the last exercise I wanted to show for today. Alright, we went through several exercises we can do with the Montes. We have here an ideal setup, of course, in the garden of the guest house. You can do it at home, you can do it in the garage, wherever you can. Put up a reduced size target, do practical distances, and use these exercises. It's not all the possibilities we have, but some. You can combine them, and you can do different ones, and so on and so forth. Invent your own ones. Be sure that you don't overtrain. Do 10 repetitions, maybe 15, maximum 20, not more than that. And then have a day's break and get in the next session, repeat it again. Don't train things that are not natural, like say on the clock recocking of the pistol. That's not going to help you. You can be sure in the next match suddenly you start to recock after one shot. That's not, of course, not necessary. Okay, so very effective training. Combine it with live fire. Do the dry fire, combine it with live fire, save money, train your muscle memory, train your mental ability to perform, get your performance to the next level, do the repetitions, do the sessions, and let me know how you're doing. You can download the program from our website, SwissAAA.org, and I will also put the video on YouTube, of course.